Hello, my friend. You asked me to talk about Sartre's ideas that we are always making choices in life, even when we're not choosing. That is a choice. We decide to let fate happen to us and we plunge into whatever comes rather than trying to guide our lives. So, the important point that I think is easy to miss is that he makes the distinction between choices we make deliberately, which means choices we make after deliberation, which means choices by which we assume our freedom and we reflect on the options available to us before we take a particular path, on the one hand, and on the other hand, choices that we make by default. And it is that is so very interesting. And in existential therapy, we work a great deal with the choices people make by default. We get set into routines and habits that run our lives for us. And they're often very bad habits and bad routines that undermine us and that do us down and that make us feel as if we're no good or as if we're making the wrong choices, but we feel too feeble to do something about it. So it is this very fundamental thing that we need to change in our lives. Instead of just going with what comes, we start to look at what is ahead and we see that there are different ways of rolling with it, different ways of experiencing it, different ways of interpreting it, different ways of assuming responsibility for our part in what is going to happen next. And if we start to enjoy that process of looking ahead, a bit like we can when we go for a car drive and we get engaged with making choices about which directions to go to, which things we want to see, which roads we want to take. And this becomes a pleasure when we feel free in our car to make those decisions and enjoy our freedom of the drive. So the objective is to find that freedom. The objective is to retrieve the freedom we have mislaid and to stop being in bad faith and doing special pleading and to stop feeling sorry for ourselves or regretting the way things have gone. And instead take some time, slow down, look back, learn from the mistakes we've made, the wrong turnings we've taken, to teach us to know the lay of the land a little bit better. And that allows us to retrieve our capacity for making new choices in a more deliberate way and to start enjoying that freedom. And that is not a freedom of do whatever you like, it is a freedom of do what is right for me in order to make my life better, in order to improve myself as a person, in order to situate myself in a better way in the world around me. So to learn to live deliberately and enjoy our existential freedom is a far more rich choice than the poverty of being in bad faith and just complaining about the way things are and living by default, doing special pleading about how this is not our fault and it's just happened and isn't life bad and aren't other people bad and haven't I been unlucky in life. You got to make your luck. You've got to open up for a chance. You've got to open up to have the space for good things to start coming on your path, and then opt for them. And then stick with them. When there is a good thing in your life, you build it up and you stick with it, and you do not undermine it by hesitations or false accusations or by doubting yourself. So learn to recognize what the right direction is. Learn to recognize what choices are available, and learn to have the courage to live deliberately rather than by default. Become strong and determined to claim your own life back, my friend. And you're well on the way, because you gave me a lot of the ideas in what you said. Good on you. Keep going. You'll get there.